Today on KUJH, the first Omicron COVID-19 case is confirmed in the United States.
I'm here at Aspen Mountain on opening day. Coming up on KUJH, I'll be discussing how Aspen Mountain has the most terrain open in the state of Colorado and how they will tackle the COVID-19 protocols.
And Santa visits Lawrence for the Festival of the Trees. All this and more today on KUJH.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Good afternoon and welcome to KUJH News. I'm Ryan Butler.
And I'm Emily Johnson. The first U.S. case of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 has been discovered in California. The CDC said in a statement that the California and San Francisco Departments of Public Health confirmed that a traveler who returned from South Africa tested positive.
Dr. Anthony Fauci addressed the nation with more information on the case.
The individual was a traveler who returned from South Africa on November the 22nd and tested positive on November the 29th. The individual is self-quarantining, and all close contacts have been contacted, and all close contacts thus far have tested negative. The individual was fully vaccinated and experienced mild symptoms, which are improving at this point.
Scientists are still uncertain how transmissible the variant is or how it may respond to current vaccines. The variant has been found in at least 24 countries. With the emergence of the Omicron variant, government officials are considering more robust COVID testing for all air travelers entering the United States.
Officials at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention are discussing whether to require everyone traveling to the U.S. to test negative less than 24 hours before entering the country and then upon arrival. This could apply to U.S. citizens as well, regardless of their vaccination status.
As of now, vaccinated travelers have up to 3 days to show a negative test before they travel internationally. On Monday, President Joe Biden banned all travel from South Africa and 7 neighboring nations, except for U.S. citizens and permanent residents.
The FDA has voted in favor of a pill to treat COVID-19. The pill produced by Merck would be the first antiviral drug to fight COVID-19 if approved. The pill is designed to treat high-risk adults with mild to moderate COVID symptoms. Final authorization from the CDC is still pending before the drug becomes available to the public.
As schools across the country struggle with attendance rates, so does KU. Emily Johnson has the story.
After a long hiatus, students are finally back in the classroom. But how many are actually showing up and taking a seat?
Attendance has always been an issue at universities, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Teachers and students have faced a variety of road bumps along the way. Professor Belmas shares what attendance has looked like in her classroom this fall.
Seen the dramatic drop-offs that some of my colleagues have reported. And I don't know why that is. Or maybe I teach the best stuff ever, which I tend to think I do.
Belmas believes that keeping students accountable by taking attendance truly makes a difference.
But it's really nice to be able to be deeply engaged and interactive in real time. And I think that's why my classes in particular have been, I drive it to the best of my ability because I think people do better.
With attendance rates lower than usual, students are possibly getting creative when skipping classes.
That ever since COVID started, people are more willing to skip class just because they think that they can use being sick as an excuse.
Although senior Olivia Sabin sees the importance in attending classes.
100%. I think I learned so much more as a student, and I'm more engaged with my classmates and actually take in the information that my teacher is teaching us.
As we continue to grow farther away from the pandemic, I'm hoping classrooms will be looking a little closer to normal over the next couple of months.
A 15-year-old boy was charged this morning for a shooting that took the lives of 4 fellow students and injured others at Michigan's Oxford High School.
They took it from him. He had a loaded firearm, and he was coming down the hall. That, again, I believe, interrupted what potentially could have been 7 more victims.
Ethan Crumbly was charged as an adult with 1 count of terrorism, 4 counts of first-degree murder, and 7 counts of assault with intent to murder. The prosecution has yet to determine a motive in the shooting. After 43 years behind bars, Kevin Strickland is now a free man.
I'm thinking this still isn't it true. Are they waiting for me outside to take me back? I mean.
Strickland was exonerated last week for a 1978 triple murder in Kansas City, Missouri. He was convicted in 1979. Before exoneration, Strickland was serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole for 50 years. The public continues to support Strickland after his release. A fundraiser for Strickland has raised over $1.5 million from over 28,000 donors. Following his release, Strickland said that he would likely become an activist to make sure that others are not wrongfully imprisoned.
But if I can ever get involved with some type of, speaking concerning legislation or something, we like to get some things changed. I got some ideas of where they could keep this from happening to someone else.
Strickland is currently staying with family. He still needs to get a bank account and a form of identification, but he also plans to leave Missouri.
After the break, we'll have a look at the satellite that KU students have sent into space.
And a local organization in Lawrence celebrates Giving Tuesday. Stay tuned.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. Reporter Keegan Hewitt had the opportunity to learn from one group here on campus who is reaching for the stars.
For some, space might be considered unreachable, but for this University of Kansas group, CubeSat, they have plans to get their satellite into space by the middle of next year.
The goal of the organization is kind of to prove that the University of Kansas can do this, and we will continue to do this, and we're building the infrastructure to keep doing that as we progress on beyond this first satellite.
CubeSat's mini satellite will be used in many different ways. It will be used to detect and send data on cosmic rays throughout space, and will also be attached with a wide lens camera to capture video of the ground as well as collect data on weather patterns.
A lot of our funding comes from right here on campus, from Student Senate, from the School of Engineering. We have a couple different departments that donate to us. We also have a couple of private donors that give us some of our equipment. They donate modules for a satellite for our ground station.
This group is made up of 50 students who will be leaving their mark on the University of Kansas by being a part of the first institution in the state to have their satellite launched into space.
It's just such an exciting project and such an exciting time. And I think that it's going to be a really significant achievement for the university and for Kansas, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
President Brody Gatza says they plan to have the satellite launched into space by June of 2022. And that thanks to their generous donors, they have plans to send some members along with their satellite to California for the official launch. For KUJH News, this is Keegan Hewitt.
For any updates on the project, check out their Twitter at @cube_sat.
So the holiday season shopping is in full swing. Have you done any Christmas shopping yet? Or are you waiting?
I actually went out on Black Friday, went to Sam's Club, and I got a member of my family something special. I can't say what it is right now, but I'm really excited for them to open it.
Yeah, have to keep it a secret, especially if they're listening.
Well, there's also Giving Tuesday, which is about giving back to the community. KUJH reporter Dre Bradley has more.
Thanks, Ryan. Giving Tuesday is a time following Black Friday where people are encouraged to donate to charities and organizations across the world. I talked to Janelle Martin at the Communities and School of Mid-America, one of the many nonprofit organizations that celebrates Giving Tuesday. Take a look.
When we work with students, it can be providing them snacks that they can have throughout the day, or a backpack snack that they can take home with them in the evening. It can be providing transportation to them. When we work with students, it can be providing them snacks that they can have throughout the day, or a backpack snack that they can take home with them in the evening. It can be providing transportation.
The pandemic has affected donations, especially last year. But CIS of Mid-America used the time in a positive way.
That gave us the opportunity to help raise awareness, because I think last year around Giving Tuesday, people were still more homebound, And so learning more information, spending more time online. So we took that opportunity, at least in our minds, that we thought to raise awareness.
Giving Tuesday was yesterday, but you can donate throughout the year. To donate, visit givingtuesday.org. After the break, Halen Wilhite will have your weather, and our own Madison Osberger Lowe will be live in studio to talk about this upcoming ski season. Stay with us.
Sports gambling has become a serious problem with young adults, especially college students. The get-rich-quick nature of social media has led to the amplification of these feelings, making it feel like you are less of a person since everyone else is having fun making their bets. The fact is that gambling addiction is a mental illness. Mental illness can happen to anyone, and you aren't any less of a person for dealing with it. Please contact the NCPG hotline if you or a loved one is dealing with a gambling addiction.
Welcome back. My name is Halen Wilhite here with your weather forecast for this week. A couple of the headlines I'm going to be talking about today. We've got some unseasonably warm temperatures hanging around with this forecast for this week, but looking to stay more on that drier side, and then taking a little peek at next week. Could be finally seeing those temperatures finally get back to where they should be, or at least a lot more colder than what we are going to be experiencing for today and for tomorrow as well. But today's forecast, we're going to be at a high of 68 degrees today with mostly sunny skies. Overall, very pleasant weather out there. A little bit above our average for this time of the year. Usually we're supposed to be in those lower 40s, but definitely not going to be seeing that for today, as temperatures are going to be still in those upper 60s. But for tonight, we'll be hanging out in those mid to lower 40s for tonight with partly cloudy skies and the southwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow it's going to get even better, as temperatures are going to be in those mid to lower 70s for tomorrow. Yes, mid to lower 70s for December. Yes, it's a little weird, but it's very enjoyable. So definitely go out and enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to last very long, as once we get into the next week, we may finally see this warm air starting to push out of the region, and this trough system is going to really start trying to kick back in to the region by Monday into Tuesday, and then maybe into Wednesday we may be seeing another trough system starting to come in, and where we could possibly see our next possible chance for some precipitation, give or take between rain or snow possibly. But we're still a little bit iffy with those temperatures going into next week. But just here's a look at this temperature trend of what we're going to be experiencing for the next couple days. But check it out. It's supposed to be 74 degrees for tomorrow, but our average should be in those lower 40s. But clearly we're not experiencing that at all. But hopefully once we get into the first half of next week, we'll finally be back into those lower 40s as we should be. But for the next couple days, not so much the story. We're going to be really enjoying these very fall, or at least mid-October like temperatures, I should say early October temperatures, especially with Thursday 74 degrees, but also 68 degrees for Friday. Saturday, maybe start breaking back into those lower 50s, and then eventually those mid 50s as well for Chiefs Sunday. And then by the first half of next week, we'll finally be back into those, at least in those mid to lower 40s, and maybe seeing the possibility of some precipitation wanting to come into the region, either in the form of rain or snow. That all will have to depend on where our lows get for that, at least our lows for those early morning hours. So far, 29 degrees and 31 degrees. That's below freezing, so maybe seeing a little bit of flurry possibly want to come up in our forecast next week. That's all I have for this weather forecast. Stay tuned for more KUJH News.
Thanks, Halen. Colder weather is on the way, but recent warmer temps means less snow, and for ski resorts, that means fewer visitors.
Madison Osberger Lowe is just back from Aspen, Colorado, and joins us with a look at what's ahead this ski season. Madison?
The fall semester is almost over and winter break is near. Many students on campus are looking forward to resting and maybe a ski vacation, but climate change and COVID may impact your choice of destination. This ski season, things are looking a little different from last year. While we are still in a pandemic, ski areas like Aspen Snowmass are finding new ways to keep skiers happy and healthy while still enjoying their ski vacations.
We had a nice little storm come through the night before. We were able to open up a lot of terrain, and everybody's just excited to be open for the season.
And now at Aspen Snowmass, it is mandatory to wear your mask on the gondola at all times.
Safety is always important for me, and I want to kind of stay with what the county wants.
Due to the warm weather and changing climate, several mountains in the U.S., and especially Colorado, have been lacking snow. Some ski resorts have had to delay their opening day. But Aspen Snowmass found a way to blow snow in the colder temperatures at night and had over 3,000 acres open.
Of course, we always need more snow. I wish I had newer and sharper skis, but it's still fun regardless of the actual conditions.
Despite the lack of snow, locals and visitors in Aspen were happy that the mountain opened on time. As temperatures are going down, ticket prices are going up. This holiday season, make sure to get your lift tickets early for your ski vacation.
After the break, Zane Kanji will have all the latest on KU sports. Stay with us.
In 2018, 22 billion water bottles ended up in a landfill. A smart way to prevent waste is by using a reusable water bottle. A reusable water bottle is an easy way to have water without using plastic. A reusable water bottle is an alternative with many benefits. Some benefits include saving money, durability, and helping the environment. Staying hydrated is important, so you might as well save the environment and your pocket while doing so.
Welcome back. The KU football season has sadly come to an end.
But basketball season is back in full swing. Zane Kanji has more.
Thank you, Ryan and Emily. Welcome to KUJH Sports. After suffering their first loss of the season in a heartbreaking fashion against Dayton, the Jayhawks bounced back on Sunday when head coaches Bill Self and Rick Pitino faced off for the first time in both of their Hall of Fame careers. Let's jump into the highlights. Kansas is up big early, but this steal and dunk by Christian Brown late in the first half boosted KU's momentum even further. Jumping ahead, less than a minute left in the first, KU is looking to end the half on a strong note, and they do it with this alley-oop to Ochai Agbaji. Even he was surprised by the dunk. Kansas led by 15 at halftime, but Agbaji kept the highlights rolling. After Mitch Lightfoot could not hit this layup, Agbaji was there to clean it up. He finished with 17 points. Christian Brown led the team with 18, which included this 3 at the second half. Even big man David McCormick had 13 points, playing in a season-low 14 minutes. Kansas defeated Iona 96-83. They travel to face St. John's in New York this Friday. The KU women's basketball team has had a bounce back of their own after falling in a close matchup to number 10 ranked Tennessee. Kansas defeated UTEP on Saturday with a final of 81-55. The Jayhawks were led by Holly Kersinger with 22 points, including shooting 3 for 5 from the three-point line. Mia Vucic shot 4 for 5 from downtown, finishing with 14 points of her own. The Jayhawks are back in action tonight at Allen Fieldhouse as they face UT Rio Grande at 7 p.m. Now let's shift over to college football. KU played their season finale versus West Virginia and kept it a tightly contested game with an injury-ridden roster. The Jayhawks were down 13 with 3 minutes left, but had a chance to cut it to 7 when they were on 4th and 11 and 17 yards out from the end zone. But quarterback Jalen Daniels threw his second interception on the night. Daniels passed for 249 yards with 22 out of 32 completed. Kwame Lassiter had a quiet 45 yards on 7 receptions for his final game as a Jayhawk. And sophomore wide receiver Luke Grimm showed off his catching skills as he was the only receiver on both teams to score triple digits, having 105 yards on 4 receptions. KU finished their season 2-10 as head coach Lance Leipold's first year at Kansas comes to a close. For the 10th time in history and for the first time since 2017, KU volleyball is headed to the NCAA tournament. The team finished 16-11 on the season and 8-8 in conference play, finishing them tied for 3rd in the Big 12. KU swept Kansas State in the Sunflower Showdown during Thanksgiving break. They won 3-1 on Friday and coming back down 2-0 to win in 5 sets on Saturday. Their success has paid off as some big players have earned some Big 12 hard way. Caroline Bien was named Big 12 Freshman of the Year and was named into the first and the rookie team. Jenny Mazur and Caroline Crawford were both named to the second team, and Cameron Turner was also named to the rookie team. After the showing in the Sunflower Showdown, London Davis received Rookie of the Week, and teammate Caroline Crawford was named Defensive Player of the Week. Kansas takes on Oregon tomorrow at 4:30 in Omaha, Nebraska for the first matchup in the NCAA tournament, with the winner taking on the winner of Ole Miss and 14th-ranked Creighton. Back to you, Ryan and Emily.
Thank you, Zane. After the break, Camden will bring you updates and highlights of last week's NFL action. Stay with us.
Why doesn't my skin look like theirs? Why is my nose so big? I'm never gonna look like those girls.
Welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Camden Fogo. The Raiders took on the Cowboys for an exciting Thanksgiving Day matchup. The game stayed pretty tight in score with the Raiders only up 6 at halftime. It got a little heated in the third quarter when Raiders Roderick Teamer and Cowboys Kelvin Joseph got into a fight and both teams piled to the sidelines. Teamer and Joseph were ejected from the game. The Raiders were up 24-13 when Tony Pollard ran for a huge 100-yard kickoff return with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, putting the Cowboys back within 8 points. Dak Prescott threw a big 32-yard touchdown and successfully completed a 2-point conversion to tie the game at 30 with less than 3 minutes left in regular gameplay. The Raiders walked away victorious after a successful 29-yard field goal to end the game 36-33 in overtime. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy tested positive for COVID-19 after Thursday's game and will not travel to New Orleans this week. The Broncos' 28-13 win over the Chargers put the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers all at 6 wins and 5 losses. The Chiefs are 1 game ahead of the rest of the AFC West with 7 wins and 4 losses. Sunday night's matchup between the Chiefs and the Broncos should be an interesting one. If the Broncos are able to maintain their energy and their defense can somehow stop Patrick Mahomes, then the Broncos could be looking to tie the Chiefs for first place in the AFC West. The Chiefs are coming off 4 straight wins and a bye week, so I'm excited to see how Sunday's game turns out. That's all I have for the NFL this week. Stay tuned after the break where Ryan Butler will have more on a Christmas festival going on this week.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
The annual Festival of Trees put on by the O'Connell Children's Shelter in Lawrence started on Monday this week and lasts through Sunday, December 5th. I was able to check out the event and talk to Erin Harmon, a supervisor at the shelter, to hear more about it.
So this is our 35th year, and every year we have donors around Lawrence who donate trees and wreaths that will be auctioned off at a live auction on Thursday of this week.
All of the money raised from the event, including donations, admissions fees, carriage rides, and the auction, goes directly to the shelter to support the children and the shelter's group homes.
This is our major fundraiser of the year, and so not only is it a big deal to us, but it's a big deal to the community. And people wait all year to come and see these trees, see Santa Claus, do all the things that we have during our week-long event. And so for us, and not only just us as employees, but the children that are in our homes, this means the world to them as well.
Santa Claus himself showed up and recognized the impact that the Lawrence Festival of Trees has on the community.
Well, I have so many friends here in the Midwest, and I love to come to Kansas. Lawrence, I think we're in, for the Festival of Trees. It's for the shelter and for the O'Connell Youth Ranch, and they're such wonderful causes.
And on the subject of Christmas, we're still a month away, but according to Santa, the preparations for the holiday are already underway.
We're not ready. It's not even December yet, but we will be. The elves are home working, the reindeer are practicing right now. I left them with their chief elf handler. They're working on night landings. Can you imagine why?
Well, Ryan, that looks like a really fun festival to be able to attend, and I personally really miss decorating my Christmas tree at home. Normally now, by the time I get home after break, it's already set up and everything. What's your family's tradition of decorating the tree?
We changed it up. This year we actually put it up the day before Thanksgiving, which I personally thought was a little bit early, but my mom wanted to get it up before, and we always have fun putting up all those homemade ornaments we have and everything else on the tree.
Great family tradition of keeping everyone together. Well, that's all for KUJH this week. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday on December at 4 o'clock p.m. for KUJH News.
Follow our socials on Twitter at KUJH_KU and our Instagram at KUJH News. I'm Ryan Butler.
And I'm Emily Johnson. Enjoy your evening.